Lieutenant Governor and a Democratic candidate for governor called for a cap on campaign donations and a ban on corporate contributions. Republicans in the General Assembly have not welcomed more modest limits, but the current state campaign finance rules in Virginia have been described as a free-for-all. It's one of a handful of states with no limits whatsoever on contributions. What are your thoughts?
Well, I tell you, I'll tell you one area where I agree with Perriello, and that is no lawmaker, especially down in Richmond, should be able to take campaign contributions from Dominion Virginia Power or any other monopoly utility. And here's why. For monopolies, they are directly regulated by the General Assembly, by the governor. And if you look at the records, Dominion has bribed almost every member of the General Assembly.
Bribed in the most political sense, not legal sense.
In the most political sense, that's right. And that's why, I mean, how can you have the body that is supposed to be regulating directly Dominion Virginia Power so that citizens are not taken advantage of by Dominion? How can you have that very body that's supposed to be doing that taking huge campaign contributions? I think they're the largest political contributor, Dominion is, in Richmond.
But if you look at it that way, that's why people will say we ought to have taxpayer-paid elections, because if you look at the legal society in the state of Virginia, the lawyers there have great power, particularly defense attorneys, when it comes to civil law changes. If you look at any number of things, there are powerful interest groups, whether it's the shipping industry in Norfolk, or if it's a cigarette industry south of Richmond, or if it's what used to be coal country in other parts of the state. Everybody has an interest. Why not just have it all publicly disclosed so we know who's paying who for what, rather than blocking people from participating?
Well, I think that the answer to that is if you look at federal campaign finance laws, there are ways around everything. And right. the problem is that the only person that it affects is the little guy who can't hire the lawyers to figure out how to figure out all these complex federal campaign laws, and as a result, only the massive corporations and very, very wealthy people can actually have an impact on federal races because the little guys stay out of it because it's too complicated.
I just think we ought to have more